This is not my normal style of video. Those of you guys that follow me know that I normally do whiteboard videos so I can give you guys a visual representation of what I am talking about and how to scale your agency effectively. Now, the reason why I thought I would do this style is we are in Q4. This is completely unedited. This is going to be a raw video. So some of you guys, it's a bit of a ramble. So if you don't want to watch this video, that's absolutely fine. But I'm going to be talking about how you can get your mind in the right place for Q4 so you can start to achieve the agency goals that you want. It is currently 11:30 at night. And to be honest with you, I have an iron mindset. So essentially, I can always work harder than most people. Now, bearing in mind, I have been in the agency space for 11 years now. I have scaled multiple successful agencies and I've been through the thick and thin of it, right? I understand what happens when an agency goes pop. I also understand when an agency, does 7 figures in a year, okay? That is the mentality that I have gone through. I've gone through the ups, I've gone through the downs, and I can tell you quite frankly that the agency journey is a tough ride. But enough of the doom and gloom. We are approaching Q4. Now, Q4, based on my experience of being in this space for the last 11 years, it is super, super important to put all of your efforts into Q4 so that you can have a great end to the year. Now, December is usually slightly quieter. So what we've really got to look at is we have 2.5 months from now, and it's the 2nd of October at the time of recording this video, that we put in maximum effort into everything that we do to be able to transition our mind and get the results for our agency. So let's look at what you can do for your agency to begin with. First of all, to help your mindset, you need to have actionable deliverables. You need to break down your clear, actionable deliverables every single day. Now, some of you guys might work like this, where you do 150 cold calls in a day, and then the next day you might only do 20, and then you do some Loom outreach, and then you do some LinkedIn. I don't want you guys doing that for Q4, right? What I want you guys doing is being consistent. Every single thing that you do on a daily basis needs to be consistent, because then we can measure that data effectively and we can improve on the processes that we make, and we can make sure that we're actually understanding how we're tracking our data and working on it to improve over the next couple of months. You will see your results skyrocket by doing this. So things like, for example, let's say your target is 100 cold calls a day. Do 100 cold calls every single day, Monday to Friday, without fail. Alongside that, you might want to do some Loom outreach, which means 10 personalized Loom videos per day. You might want to do some LinkedIn outreach, 20 LinkedIn messages per day. You might want to do 200 voicemail drops per day. We need to stay consistent. The whole point of consistency is we can then identify the bottlenecks in our agencies. Now, the reason why a lot of people struggle with this agency game is because they have so many bottlenecks to begin with and they never quite work out where they lie. Now, your biggest tell of where a bottleneck is your data. And we can track data in every aspect of our agency. So if you're not tracking your data effectively, you're essentially missing out on the key things that you can do to improve. So let's look at tracking our goals effectively. So you've got your actionable deliverables and you've got set KPIs every single day. We then need to track our revenue goals. Now, I have done a video about tracking your numbers like your life depends on it. It is on my channel. Make sure you go and watch that. And for those of you guys in Client Capital already, you will have joined the live call and that would have given you an insight into why it's so important. But for some of my new viewers, I want to talk about it, right? You need to track your numbers like your life depends on it. And every single week, I want you guys to have a revenue goal, okay? Eventually, you'll have daily revenue goals, but let's start with weekly revenue goals. Every single person watching this video, if you've consumed all of the knowledge that I've given you and you've joined our free school community, you are more than capable of signing your first client in 5 days, okay? Regardless of the lengthy salesy process, you're able to sign your first client in 5 days, okay? So what I want you guys to do is start to track your revenue on a weekly basis. Set a revenue goal for the month and work backwards. What do you need to do to achieve that revenue goal? So for example, if we know that our revenue goal for this month is 5K, okay? That means we're going to have to break it down so we make £1,250 per week, okay? Now, how many pieces of outreach do we need to do, and how many discovery calls and how many demo calls and how many clients do we need to get to achieve that goal? The whole point of setting a target is that you have something to work towards. If you don't have a target, You have nothing to work towards. So I want you guys all implementing targets on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, and now for Q4. This is your chance before the end of the year to properly reinvent yourself. This really is your chance to make sure that you are walking into next year with some recurring revenue so that you can either quit your job or continue to grow your agency. You have no better opportunity right now than to be working super hard. Now, if you do have full-time jobs, that's okay. You can target the US if you're based in the UK. If you're based in the US and you've got a full-time job, target Australia. Likewise with Australia, right? Like, you guys have opportunities. Anyone watching this video has opportunities to be able to target different markets all the time. We have things like email marketing where we can personalize and automate 5,000 emails per month. There is no excuse to be doing outreach on a daily basis. Now, in terms of motivation, when you start to struggle, let's say, and you're struggling, you need to revert back to long-term goals, okay? Why did you start the agency in the first place? I've always had a long-term goal of having a 9-figure agency. By the way, I am nowhere near there, right? But it keeps me going. I want a long-term goal, so I wake up every single morning and I feel motivated. Now, some of you guys watching this video might say, look, it's all right for you, Dan. You know, you're financially stable right now with your agency. You know, you're motivated. But look, to be honest with you, it's not just about money, right? Once you start to get some money in, it becomes a little bit irrelevant. And don't get me wrong, we still want to be able to build on our revenue, right? And we need to make sure we're increasing our profit on a daily basis. But you still need to have something to strive for. We're looking for operational growth. We're looking at how we can expand our teams. We're looking at how we can go into separate divisions, separate countries, okay? How we can offer additional services. So that's what's going to get you to the next level. So you need a long-term goal. If your long-term goal is to build a 7-figure agency, then break that down. How are you going to get there? How long is it going to take? What's the best way that you can achieve that goal? Then you want a midterm goal, okay? Where do you want to be in the next 6 months, 3 months, okay? That's where you're going to be able to really strive for that goal and then break it down into a short-term goal, okay? Your short-term goals are then broken down with KPIs. So that's enough about goal setting, but you get the gist. If you don't have something to work towards, you are going to lose motivation rapidly. When, let's say, you start declining, okay, because everyone starts declining at some point, they feel a bit like they need a bit of assistance, okay? Step away from work. Step away from work, do a couple of hours outside, right? Go to the gym, do whatever you need to do. It is about putting in the hours. It is about putting in the work. But if you're struggling with mindset, you don't have to break your back 24 hours a day. You would much rather use the hours that you're at your desk to fully maximize your time so that you've got the best chance of succeeding. I would rather do 10 hours in one day where I'm solidly focused than having, 18 hours where I'm sat at my desk and then I'm scrolling whatever, right? The whole point of it is making sure that you are consistently driven and focused. Don't focus on shiny object syndrome. Now, that seems to be a problem that a lot of people get when they first get into this space. They're looking at the nice cars, they're looking at the nice watches and all of this sort of shit. Don't get me wrong, it's what I used to do. I used to strive for that all the time. You'll realize, and from someone that's owned multiple cars and watches and all this bullshit, right? You will realize that that doesn't necessarily bring you fulfillment because actually it's the work that makes you happy, right? So try not to look at, let's say, some guy on Twitter who's 20 years old, who is doing 10 million a month, right? It's an anomaly, okay? It's a 1 in 100,000. You're better off focusing on long-term growth, looking at adding to your monthly recurring revenue, right? Build on your agency, build on your brand, build on your professional brand, build on your personal brand. How can you focus on your goals solely? Now, some of you guys are struggling with distractions, okay? I always say this. If you do need some downtime, not everyone can work all the time, right? It does take a while to get into the beast mode that I want you guys to be in. But if you do need some downtime, start watching long form YouTube videos like this one. These are the videos that are going to fill you with knowledge, and it doesn't have to be just from me, right? You can look at other creators out there. People like Alex Hormozy, for example, give such good value. Simon Squibb, right? Really long form videos. You're better off doing that than scrolling TikTok and looking at some of these, tiki-toki guys or whatever they're called, filling your brain with shit, right? What we actually want to do is focus about how we can really take our agency forward. Even in our downtime, we can listen to a podcast, right? Do things that are inspiring you and you're consistently learning. So that's what I would focus on for you guys. I know that was just a little bit of a ramble. If you want more ramble videos like this, feel free to just let me know in the comments. I don't have a massive following on YouTube yet. I'm sure I will one day because I am very consistent. You guys will see the level of work that I put in for everything that I do, not just my YouTube, not just my agency, everything. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are struggling with mindset, please, please, please start changing your mindset. It's Q4. It's a time to reinvent yourself. Do not wait until the end of the year to go new year, new me. It's now a new quarter. This is your opportunity. So make sure you subscribe if you like the video. Make sure you like it as well. And join Client Capital. Our free community is linked down below. But we also have where you can book a strategy session with me or my sales team to help you grow your agency. I'll see you inside.